Good morning and watcher bless everybody. You are watching the next episode of the 100die Fundie Baby Challenge, a challenge in The Sims 4 where we take the 100 Baby Challenge to Weird Culty Fundie Church. Today we are getting ready. It is going to be school day. It's Monday. And I have promised church service for so many episodes. We are going to get that done this episode. Today, because we are having school, the older kids are going to school, I can't do church service, but I can do it tomorrow. And we're going to be recording the next couple of days. So thank you guys so much for being patient with all that. As we can see, school is starting for the older two very soon. As such, Plum is really trying to get their homework done. We've neglected it. It's the first Monday, Friday in a while. Onyx is joining Plum. Dad is sleeping in today. The littles are feeding themselves. Mom is changing little Topaz's diaper. They look so cute together. This reminds me of Onyx when he was just a little boy. He looks a lot like Onyx to me. I'll tell you what, I don't know what Beth is going to be doing with all these children. Her help is leaving for the day. Oh my, you need to be doing cloth diapers, sir. That was my bad. So I'll just throw this away, float this nicely in there for Beth. Yay, all changed for the day. Ooh, that reminds me. We have another birth certificate to hang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 children. And in the nursery, we have Onyx's little handprint to hang. I'm so loving this. I'm absolutely loving this. So many really sweet babes. Just born little individual souls. Let's send all the students alone. They did not get their homework done. I feel so bad. Oh, they're almost done though. Stop talking to your sister. Stop talking to your brother. Dad, you're not rested yet, not fully rested, but I need you to help your son with homework. So you got to get up, sir. Everybody is getting up. Mom has her hands full with these students, with her little pupils. She is really their teacher. I know that in our challenge, we go to high school and we go to grade school, but that would absolutely not be done in the ATI, in their homeschooling program. I do want to talk a little bit about differing approaches. So each household, the ideal is that you only use the ATI wisdom booklets for your children's homeschooling. According to Gothard, according to the IBLP, this was just the pinnacle at the time that it was out. Oh yay, Danburite's chick hatched on its own. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know why it's Danburite's chick, but all right, I'm fine with that. We'll go ahead, we'll get James on the chores right away because his son did not do chores this morning. Look at Mom and look at Dad. They are flirty. Messiah, congratulations. Thank you, Messiah. Let's have our kids study hard. They are both C students, you guys. Their education has been so neglected. Well, I guess, yes, neglected, but that's not the intention. They're just trying their best. And with the ATI booklets, can you blame them? Like, this is not a real education. This is this really weird interpretation of and stretching of facts to fit a narrative. What do we expect, right? So that's part of the reason that I am no longer requiring a grade, a certain grade requirement in order to age up. This is probably, as far as the public school education standards go, it would be pretty low. Oh, poor buddy. I think he's got gas. Mom is just trying her best to clean up. She'll get to the baby here in a minute. Let's do some tummy time. Oh, the twins. Okay, so Danny and Rose, we haven't really focused on them much and I feel terrible. But Danny and Rose are twins. They are boy and girl. So equals in age, but they're going to be treated very differently. Boys are going to be encouraged to do things that are physical, that are roughhousing around. Girls are going to be encouraged to do more nurturing things. So Rose would be more encouraged to entertain the young one. Did James go check scholarships? Is he wanting to further his education? I'm sorry, buddy. You have a family. Danny! He made his sister cry. Okay, so these twins, they would be in utero together. They would normally be, I would think, very close, but it looks like Danny has a difficult family dynamic with Rose. And this has to do with Danny's traits. Danny is aggressive and destructive, but I don't know how he's a charmer too. He likes to socialize, but I don't know, Danny. I mean, it's young, right? Like, he's young, it's early. I'm not ready to call a sim evil right away, but man, Danny, you're doing a really good impression right now of somebody who's manipulative. And maybe because your mom is so overwhelmed, she hasn't been able to curtail your less desirable behaviors. Let's put it that way. Your more mean-spirited behaviors. Absolutely under no circumstance would an IBLP parent tolerate someone who is overtly mean. But really, unless Plum is home, Beth is really overwhelmed. Oh my goodness, what sentiment did we just get? Oh my goodness, Danny feels ignored by his mom. He has a hurt sentiment. Dan Bright is feeling overshadowed by his sibling. Certainly without his buddy at home, Plum would really be both of their buddies, or they would be Plum's buddy, because Plum is an anatomical female. Dan Bright is sleepy and has gas trouble. Oh dear. Oh dear. We're going to get Dan Bright fed, and then Dan Bright is going down for a nap, and then we can focus on these other children. You can bet that Beth feels terrible. Beth knows what she would like to do as far as her children are concerned. She knows the attention that she wants to give them. They're here because she loves kids. She and her husband love kids, but she is only one sim. And she's taught that the Watcher will never give her more than she can handle. And as other Watcherite sims would say, that that's true, that, you know, never are you given more than you can handle. But also, oh boy, Topaz has some tummy issues. Infants with the gassy quirk will be gassier, which can make them fussier due to discomfort. Oh, poor buddy. But I will say, Beth is feeling very inspired. I would think that her children, as much as she recognizes that she's not the parent that she wants to be right now, I think that her children still inspire her. Oh no, James just got a call from the high school. When answering a question, Plum Bite used forbidden words. Of course they did. Our Plum, it really shocked the teacher. Oh no, punish away. They're just words, or maybe Plum Bite was upset. This is a Fundie parent. Oh no, punish away is definitely what we're going to be doing. Oh, the kids are following after mom. Let's play a lullaby. Let's play Hush Little Baby. Oh, she's so happy. Oh, buddy, it's okay, honey. Let's hug our son lovingly. Let's hug our daughter lovingly. These poor kids. The fact that they came to us and they're twins. Twins makes them harder because it's two kids that you have to divide your limited attention to. Doesn't mean that Beth loves any of their children any less, or any of her children any less. But again, she's only one sim. And the way that she feels that the Watcher has called her, or the way that her faith teaches her that the Watcher has called her to have a family, really limits the effectiveness of her parenting. All right, buddy. I'm so sorry you felt so neglected, but I totally understand. Celine, you've got quite the positive reputation. People love your floral arrangements and landscaping. Have you considered a career in gardening? No, actually, we have not. Opal. Opal is calling, wants to chat. Yes, I want to answer. Now that Opal has expressed interest in getting back into the fold, into the right Watcherite Fundie way of living, we can talk to Opal again. Opal is more welcome around the children. Opal is not seen as a spiritual danger. Opal isn't seen as a bad influence on these guys that could be potentially threatening their spiritual future. And that is going to be massively important to the Josephs. They love their children. They want what is absolutely best for them. And we've seen kind of with some of the wisdom booklets that their counsel would be that if their children are not living this way, that they could be in very real danger. Opal has spread some juicy gossip about Topaz. Well, I will say that they were probably talking about Topaz, but we're not going to spread gossip about a baby, so there's that. They would be told that any child that does not follow the Watcher is in danger of having their little pixelated soul burn in the deletion recycle bin, right? For all of eternity. And the only way to be sure that that wasn't going to happen would be to follow this prescribed teaching, this IBLP prescribed teaching. And that's the big draw of this. They prey on very concerned, well-intentioned parents that have real, true faiths and want to ensure that their children are going to as well. And so it's important to realize that the Institute of Basic Life Principles, the IBLP, is not a church. It's not a religion. It is a cult. It's a program that is prescribed. It says that it is interdenominational or non-denominational. So long as you believe in their case, Jeebus and the Watcher, then you could be a Watcher Fundie. You could be in the IBLP. Now, when you get deeper into it, you realize that no, it is very denominational. Like, they only accept certain denominations of the Christian faith. And there are many, infinitely many. And the strict rules really do jive best with a certain kind of Christian religion. Yay, back from school. Basically, they're still C students. Reach milestone was unlocked. Plum is so tense. It's giving so much attitude. She does not want to come home after the day that she has had. She said a forbidden word. I would certainly not want to be Plumbite right now. Her father is calling her over. It looks like James is putting Onyx down so that Rose can interact with him. Oh, he misses being held. I'm sorry, baby boy. Your mom is trying to catch their boy up on his thinking. Really, Rose is pretty much ready to go as far as all of their skills are concerned, except potty. We do need to get some potty going. Their birthday's in a couple of days, the twins' are. But Danny is way far on his movement. His communication's pretty high. His imagination is almost there, and his thinking needs some help. But he's there on his potty. Oh, there we go. Yep, there we go. James is going to be talking with Plumbite about their mood. Plumbite is not having fun. Plumbite is stressed about coming home. To be able to misbehave in such a public way is a direct reflection on James's teachings. So he's going to encourage Plum to redirect their stressed mood. He's also going to be discussing the symbol with Plum. Now, Plum would be very used to hearing a message about how their attitudes are ungrateful, about how their attitudes are really hurting others around them. Plum would be very used to this narrative that their anger, or maybe them not watching their words or taming their tongue is, oh my goodness, is poison. Plumbite just shouted forbidden words out of frustration. I don't think at their father, but just at the situation. Plum is so upset, and James is not meeting them with understanding. James is not trying to understand where Plum is coming from. James just wants Plum to stop and get past it, and Plum is over it. So because Plum shouted forbidden words at school, and then in the presence of their younger siblings, or really even at all, but especially out in the presence of other people, James is going to be taking things away from Plum. Plum is losing things that they enjoy because they refuse to just drop it and give their worries over to the Watcher and then completely abandon it. So you're really encouraged not to feel your feelings. So Plum, this is ruining my plans, but Plum is going to lose their friends. This, as far as James is concerned, is happening because Plum left the house and was talking to other kids. That's right. You repent. You feel terrible for what you did. In fact, why don't you go read, do something quiet, because you cannot be trusted to be around others. We don't want your poison being spread. Plum is so sick and tired of having to curtail themselves to make others happy. Oh, Topaz got his coup milestone unlocked. You know what? Onyx is looking pretty good, and Onyx loves kids. He's a family-oriented sim, I believe. No, he's lazy and a vegetarian, but he does want to be a super parent. So he does love kids. He's going to be taking the reins, I think, with Onyx. I think he is absolutely just gobsmacked every time he has a younger sibling that he gets to kind of help guide. He wouldn't be able to help take care of them, not per se anyway, but he could, under the idea that he is guiding his siblings, he could have more to do with their raising. Roughhousing encouraged. Oh, that's not going to happen. Nope, not in this neighborhood. Our neighborhood is very lucky that we moved in and that we are getting services going. Clearly this community needs it. Oh, what sentiment did we get? It looks like he's fascinated by Dan Barite and he's fascinated by Onyx. Oh, his two older brothers. That is outstanding. So yeah, mom and dad are taking away, but under the authority of dad really, are taking away Plum's ability to connect with others on the outside. She can connect with her family as far as they're concerned. She can connect with her church that they are building. Those are all great influences. I know you're bored. I'm so sorry. Plum is gonna go stomp off and quietly read. The twins are exhausted, so they're gonna go take care of themselves. Mama is actually gonna go wake Topaz up and give Topaz a nap. She doesn't get to do this very often, but the other little kids are getting put to sleep by their older siblings. Bedtime routines are really getting handled quite a lot by them, which she's very grateful for because she gets to be the infant's buddies. So any newborn or infant is mom's buddy. Anyone toddler or above are the older kids' buddies. Reading really doesn't seem fun to Plum, so I'm gonna have them just like talk with Onyx, maybe do some silly interactions. We're gonna see if that helps. Watching TV is not really an option for us. We can't play computer games. That is where the devil lives, apparently. So we're gonna see if this helps Plum at all. I hope so. I don't know what to do for them otherwise. Oh, good, it is working. You know what, Onyx? You're a good egg, sir. I think Onyx is just gonna take Plum bite. He's like, look, I know you're not supposed to be doing like super physical things, but why don't you come kick the soccer ball with me? You look like you could need something to like beat around a little bit. He's telling her an urban legend. Okay, all right. Plum, how we, oh yes. Okay, Plum is really getting a lot of enjoyment out of that. Oh, loving this. Okay, guys, I'm going to let them just sort of calm down for the night. I will see you bright and early tomorrow. Oof, for homeschool. Oh my goodness. Bright and early tomorrow for homeschool and church. Plum is the very first one up this morning. They were actually up in the middle of the night. Both of the teens were with their littles, with their younger buddies. Plum woke up to just have a really cute moment with Topaz, lots of kissing, cuddling. Plum is, you know, not the greatest sim all the time. Like I said, they're dealing with stuff, but I think to their siblings, they're becoming more and more kind. And it's interesting because to their parents, they are becoming more and more frustrated. Plum is having a ball just cooking. Plum is making a honey cake. I think for the twins' birthday, normally Beth takes care of that, but Plum really wants to do it and is gaining fun from it because Plum loves to cook. It is almost Dan Barite's birthday. I think that's tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Let's pull this up. It is. So it is Dan Barite, Rose Quartz, and James's birthday tomorrow. Today, you guys, we just have the cake. I think we're gonna cook a little bit more because we're going to be having church today. Actually, I think let's just add some birthday candles, put that in there. And then Plum, you need to do your homework, please. It looks like she and Onyx both have school projects. Let's be honest, I don't know if I'm going to be getting to that. Why are you in the boys' room? You're not allowed to be in the boys' room. That is not an okay thing. Why don't you go sit down out there? Yeah, get out before anybody sees you. Thank you. And we're going to have Miss Beth take a pregnancy test. Yes, almost Rose Quart's birthday. We're going to have Miss Beth take a pregnancy test. Eating for two. She and Mr. Joseph got up to a little something last night. And you guys, we are expecting our next baby, at least baby number 9. We don't have any open slots at this point. So I'm thinking it's just going to be a singleton, but who knows, that could change. Everybody is just waking up, taking care of their stuff. Plum, what are you doing? Okay, well, Plum insists on doing homework in the boys' room. I guess Danny's here, so maybe they're watching over Danny. Onyx just made a resolution, which is outstanding. So I've set homeschool up a little bit differently in my save. I've set that we're going to be making a resolution, and really it's going to be to raise a skill level for each of the kids. I have also set up that we're going to be appreciating an object, so we're going to be praying and telling stories. So Beth will be focusing on some things, the kids will be focusing on others. Everybody is just waking up with the exception of little Topaz. Oh my goodness, Danny, I don't know when you did this. This is definitely a Danny thing. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Onyx, you're gonna be working on that today. Goodness gracious. I cannot believe this. And Onyx is angry. Danny is angry. Dan Bright is angry because he has to pee. So we're gonna get that taken care of. He also wants to be funny with his mom. Aw, that's so cute. Beth wants to be friendly with a non-household sim. So does James. So I think it's a great day to have church service. Okay, everybody is cued with things to do. Danny is just getting some fruit salad. He's gonna go feed himself. Yes, Beth made a resolution. Perfect. Aw, we're completing a milestone. Laugh milestone got unlocked. Oh, that's amazing. Beth hears her little boy happily laughing, her youngest son at this point, laughing. So she's gonna go get him up, get him ready for the day, probably get him changed for church. Plumbite is studying away. They're gonna have to get their homework done before they can take over teaching the littles. Mom can give Danny a bath to get ready for church and homeschool. We won't spend too awful long on homeschool today, but really the big thing is getting everybody ready for church. And then we'll have the shindig happen. So parentification is again strong because we know that Rosie just wouldn't be as well cared for if Plum didn't pitch in. Now, that's not to say that Plum doesn't enjoy this to some extent. I'm sure that they do. And that it does feel very special and like a rite of passage to be able to be given your siblings to be able to take care of. There are examples, I think, throughout history where older siblings have enjoyed taking care of younger ones, but that doesn't have to be the case. And even if it is the case, if you as an older sibling were solely responsible or largely responsible for making sure that your siblings ate, your siblings' hygiene, your siblings' grades, behavior, all of that, then you were parentified, right? As much as you might have enjoyed it, maybe you might have enjoyed a childhood. Homeschool for Plum consisted of homework. Today, homeschool for Rose Quartz consists of potty training. That is really the skill that Rose Quartz needs. I would like to have them at level 3 on everything before I age them up prematurely. I think we are going to get, like a day with them, or I may just leave them tots until it's time for them to age up, but I want them to be nice and ready. Potty level 3, good girl, so smart, so ready. I will say that Rose is pretty much at base for everything. Nothing is really overly developed in Rose. Whereas Danny has movement level 4, communication level 4. He's really being invested in and set up because, his parents know that he's going to have to be the head of a household. He's going to have to be making money. So they're going to need to encourage him much, much more than they would a female, right? Onyx is pretty much looking good. Grab milestone has been unlocked. Nice job, buddy. Oh, look at Onyx. He's so excited. The nice thing about being in a big family is that you're never alone for long. So even as an infant, this infant would have, whoa. Yes, James can like nectar making. He is making some apple nectar. Looks like mom is getting Topaz ready to be interacted with by his sister. She's like, okay, sweetie, love you. You're being such a good little helper to mommy. You watch your brother for me. And parentified Plumbite is right there. So yes, Plumbite is in charge while mom is out of the room or indisposed, but this would still be used as an opportunity to train Rose Quartz. And mom is sort of watching over everything. So it's not that mom is absent. Look at, oh, Opal Joseph is calling to chat. Yes, absolutely. This is family. And I think that James and Beth are really thinking that this could be a good influence just to see, like, you know, Plum, I know you're having some trouble with the rules as of late, but you should really talk to your sister. She has been a sim of the world. She was lost to us, but just the truth of these principles has really brought her back. To be honest, this actually gives me a really good opportunity. I think that Plum and their sister have talked about what's going down. I think Plum is talking in code right now, but is pretty frustrated. They can't wait to get out of here. The rules are ridiculous. Plum does not understand why they can't do something as simple as like cutting their own hair, or maybe like wearing something more practical, like jeans. Like they would cover all of Plum. That's not the issue. Our brother's here. They just don't understand why everybody has to look the same, and that we can't express when we're frustrated and that we're afraid of negative emotions. Plum is certainly not. So I think that that's been a point of frustration for them. And I think that they've planned this with Opal, that like, yeah, you come back, you get closer, you take mom and dad, and I think it'll be good for you to see the family. But ultimately, I want to leave. And I think that Plum is really annoyed that they have to keep this secret that Opal is just coming back to get them. Oh, yes. Onyx and his brother and Jasper are jokesters together. That's so cute. Congratulate on the marriage, give residence keys. He already has them, but that's absolutely fine. The parents are reading a symbol story to the kiddos. I was gonna have James formally start church, but I think instead we'll just have some people over. This is gonna be a little less structured, I think, at first. Plum says they are feeling forlorn. They're asking their mom, no one likes me. No one will ever like me. Why bother with anything anymore? Ooh, guys, I think Plum is starting to have some personal realizations. Realizing that maybe the way that they feel about themselves is not the way that they've been told that the Watcher wants them to feel about themselves. Interesting. Would Beth say, I will always love you? Because again, Plum can't tell Beth exactly what's going on. They know better. People like you, look around, life is pain, just keep going. Oh my goodness. Let's do life is pain. That there is beauty in suffering, and that's when the Watcher shows up for us. It's Opal. Let's have Onyx give Opal a hug. I don't remember how old Onyx was. I think Onyx was just a tot when Opal left. So let's give a hug. Oh, so big now. I think this is kind of sad a little bit for Opal. All right, guys, church is in session. Oh my goodness, look, everyone is meeting. This is so great. So these guys are pretty much already on board with the Fundie lifestyle. Umber has to come around to this. Umber's probably just looking for anything to help save their marriage. They have a child in common. I think in my save, they have another one that was just born. Like he's scared. He wants his marriage to survive. I don't know why everybody is so far back, but I think that for Umber, hearing this message that family and children are a blessing, because that's really how this would be positioned to everyone on the outside. Family and children are a blessing. The world is going to tell you that to have more children is evil and terrible, and they really do have awful wants for your families. It's just a very selfish way to live, and we're going to live in a way that is harder socially, but ultimately makes our watcher happy. And what could be better than making the watcher happy? So this is a very digestible message to most people that, you know, any children that you have, of course you regard them as something great and wonderful. Of course, you would never want them to not be here. So this is a good introductory message. I think he is also praising the watcher today for the return of his prodigal child, Miss Opal herself. And I think that Umber is very interested in speaking with Opal about their experiences. I think that Opal is so torn because to their core, or Opal doesn't believe this. I don't think, maybe Opal is possibly coming around to being a watcherite, like a general watcherite. But if you can see, Opal's still in pants. I think their parents are so happy. Amethyst was calling. Oh my goodness. Her parents are just so happy to have her here that they're going to kind of forgive it. And Opal is being seen as, let's ask about the future plans. Opal is being seen as this sort of gateway or testimony for others who are outside of this faith. So right now her jean pants are tolerated. Oh, yay, they got a sentiment. You know what? Beth is so excited to have her daughter back. Oh my goodness, it looks like everybody else is kind of filing out. I did want, we kind of missed that, but they had a family kiss. She does miss her so much. Do you want to share the news? I think she will. I think she's going to be like, guess what, honey? I'm pregnant. And Opal is like, wow, yeah, I figured. Yep, that sounds right, Mom. It looks like Beth wants to become friends with Jessica. She wants to be able to guide this young woman. She's actually not a young woman. She's an adult woman, but she wants to be able to partner with her. She sees that she's struggling in this faith cult, that maybe all these children shouldn't have been had, and you know, her husband may not be all she wanted him to be, but he's the husband that the watcher gave her. So that's all the questioning we need. So this has been absolutely lovely. I wonder, guys, Plumbite is level 3 in piano, level 6 in cooking, is still a C student, but we know that that doesn't matter, right? I know we had wanted to get the courtship between her and Jeff all done, but like all started. I think what we could do is maybe take this birthday cake and get a very overdue Plumbite aged up. I don't think that it would be right to have her move out right away today. Opal's gonna have to lay some groundwork of trust here. We're thinking about courtships as shammy as that might be, actually. But I am ready to get Plum aged. I think next episode we will focus on aging their siblings. Happy birthday, Plum! Yay! All right, so Plumbite has aged up. They aged up with the good manners trait. I don't know how they got that. Plum was so rude. And they aged up with the responsible trait, which I totally believe. So let's randomize. Plum is a pro. You know what? I love that. I think that Plum is growing into a more bro lifestyle because they're excited about leaving and moving out, and I think that they want to explore their gender identity, and maybe they don't feel totally right doing all the girly frilly stuff. So I think it would be natural to completely do a 180 and like start fist pumping people and chest bumping and calling everyone dude. They won't realize this part of their personality until they move out, but I absolutely love this. Now for their aspiration, I have a pretty good idea of what I believe Plum would want out of life. It's actually under the fortune aspiration, and I want them to be a market magnet, or rather they want to be a market magnet. Plum wants to be earning their own money. Plum wants to be doing it cooking and baking. I think that that is absolutely perfect. This trait, Again, for now, we'll stay, but I think we're going to see a lot of growth with Plum once they leave. That won't, graduated. That won't be this episode, but guys, in the near future, the time is ticking, the clock is ticking. With Plum having aged up, their parents are going to be chomping at the bit to get them married. So guys, I think this is actually a really good place to leave it. We are going to be streaming this Saturday as we normally do, but to be honest, I don't really know what we're going to be streaming, so there will be a community poll up to have you guys decide what our stream should be. Make sure you pop over to the community tab to cast your vote. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching. Watch or bless, and as always, happy simming.